I'm back here in Sindini for round 2. I just got back from Narambi and now I'm on to Goroka. But first, I've got to load up a bunch of bags of coffee. Raw coffee beans that they fly into town. We sell it for them and then we're coming back here in like a week or so. We'll bring their money back. So let's get all the seats out, get everything off the plane, and reconfigure everything in the airplane so we can get on, I don't know, probably, I'm thinking maybe 700 kgs or so of coffee. All right, because I've got 700 or so kgs coming in here to be able to protect myself if I were to go off the runway or crash, I'm gonna put this net up, a couple of these straps, as well as this huge net right here. So I start the net back here about a foot behind all of it so that the coffee sits down on top of the actual net. I'll tie down the front corners. That pulls it back down because it's underneath of the coffee now. Then we're gonna flip it over. I'm gonna put ropes down the side before I put the coffee in as well. Okay, finally done. We've got 14 ropes, basically double whatever this is, 700 kgs, because I took a bag off, so I think it's just under 700 or 703 or something. And then I've got 14 ropes, because each one of these seat tracks can only hold 100 pounds. I think I hear the helicopter coming. Let's go get his landing real quick. He's dropping more people off from another location. Looks like it's gonna get really busy here in about 3 minutes when MAF lands. All right, now that he's gone, let's get out of here. Well, actually, MAF just landed, so we'll wait for him. I won't bother him while he's getting all of his passengers ready, but this is a Cessna Caravan, not a Kodiak. It's about 8 inches wider, I think like 4 feet longer. Wingspan's maybe like 3 feet longer, I think, on each side. So a couple key differences is they have 2 doors on this airplane here. The exhaust stack comes out one side and it's just absolutely massive. Tires and everything about the same. The pod's a little bit longer just because the length of the airplane is a little bit longer. And like I said, it's probably like 8 inches to 10 inches wider. And obviously it's a 3-bladed prop instead of a 4-bladed prop. Looks like we've got a little bit of a headwind, quartering headwind. It's good for takeoff. Let's go. Looks like we got about a 10 knot, well, 8 to 10 knot quartering headwind, so that'll be good for takeoff. Right, ultra fuel's on. NG is getting up to 2022, stabilizing. We'll introduce our fuel.
TAWS system test, okay.
Everything's coming up at a normal, nice slow rate. Been sitting here for, I don't know, probably at least an hour or more. Probably an hour and 20 minutes now. And we've got a 25-minute flight back home. And my plan is to shoot the instrument approach into Goroka. Not because I need to, it's a beautiful day, but just for practice. Okay, well, we've got 704 kgs loaded of coffee on board now. I have the 2 seats in there just like that. I got 4 seats in the back. It was just too much of a pain to try to fit 5 of them on the hat rack. And here you go, you guys can see takeoff, landing, kind of aft CG, but I am okay with that because it's still within the envelope. All stations, Sendeni 1201, or correction 07. November Tango Echo, back taxiing for departure Goroka. The ground here is really soft. Just gonna put forward pressure because I'm a little aft CG on the yoke. We'll just get beta, just so I don't slide down on this spray dirt. All right, there we go. All right, let's go through the buddy check. Our fuel caps, selectors are good. Our controls we just did. Our TAWS is turned off.
Sendeni traffic, November Tango Mike is 3 miles northeast, 7,200 on descent for landing at 38.
And November Tango Mike, I'm lined up right now. Go ahead and I'll wait for you to land, but if you could just land in the parking bay a little bit further off, and then I can go get out of there.
If you're ready to go, you could go ahead and take off.
All right, yep, I'll do that, and I'll make a right-hand turn out to the south.
Sounds good. Visual with you right now.
All right, let me just power up. All right, ignition condition, flaps 20, fuel and harnesses. Ignition, inlet, and lights are done. Harnesses and, okay, so ignition condition, flaps 20, fuel and harnesses. Checklist is complete. All stations Sendeni 1207, November Tango Echo. We'll be departing Sendeni for Goroka via the Maiwaka Gap. There we go, torque set. Airspeed's alive. And there's 62. Using up every little bit of that one. 7 knots of headwind. All right, let's make a right-hand turn out of here for a helicopter to get in safely. We'll do a 180 right over top of the field and then head out that way. I'm heavy today, and it's a little bit hot today because it's almost noon. We're out here a little bit more of a safe area. Let's go ahead and, we're 85, go 10 degrees of flaps. And we'll go 0. It's crazy, I came through these mountains just maybe an hour and a half ago. There was not one single cloud on any of the ridges. It's just crazy how quickly things change here as the day goes on. All right, well, let's bring our prop on back, 2,000 RPM. Pitch on up for around 99 knots for the best rate of climb, so we can get through that gap over there at around 8,600 feet minimum. Moresby 6622, November Tango Echo departure. Moresby unreadable, but I think you can hear me today on 6622. November Tango Echo departed Sendeni, 1 POB at time 40. We'll be tracking 332 on climb 10,000, estimating Goroka 04. Copy, traffic, November Tango Mike, and Mike up hotel. We want to head through the Maiwaka Gap. It looks open on this side, and then there's a lot of clouds on the other side. So we might have to go through and then like drop right back down, but the valley just goes out. So let's just go stick our nose up there, see if it works. I'm 8,000 now. I need about another 400 to really squeak through, but 500-600 to get through at a comfortable rate. But let's go, actually, let's turn our igniters off, leave our engine inlet bypass. We'll leave our landing light on just because we are going through kind of a busy area, especially if there's a lot of clouds. Any airplane coming this way is going to be going through this gap. We'll stick on this side, kind of the east side of the gap, so that if I need to peel off for any reason, I can just continue my left-hand turn out. But it looks like I'm seeing all the way through, and like 20 miles at least, so 8,500. Oh yeah, I can see all the way through nicely, so let's go ahead and head that way. Oh, we're 8,600 feet now. Let's bring our torque on back just to cruise 1250 until we get through here. I have filed for 10,000 going back.
Copy you now, 5x5 rule, mate, here.
But that's not really my minimum safe if I have to go into clouds. 12.8 is. So I'm gonna have to stay below the clouds. We'll see how it works once I get closer to where the initial approach fix is for the instrument procedure. All stations in Walker Gap 1207, Kodiak November Tango Echo, transiting air Walker Gap south to north 8,700 will be on climb, not above 10,000. We'll squeak on through this little hole right here, and actually we might be able to climb up to 10,000. Let's give it a go. If you guys want to try some of this coffee back here, check out my website. I've got PNG coffee on there for you guys to try. This is just raw beans, and no, I can't ship it to the States for you guys to do roasting yourself and stuff. I've had a lot of people ask me that. The logistics is just too much for me to deal with, so I'm not doing that. But I do have some roasted coffee that you can purchase off of my website. Yeah, 10,000 might work. I think we're just going to have to wiggle our way through the clouds, but that's okay. Let's bring our ITT up to 720 for a climb. We're almost to 10,000 now. Let's come over here to Goroka and the RNAV Yankee. So my intermediate fix is 9,700 feet. My initial approach is 12.6. It's a nice day. I'm not going to go up to 12.6 for the sake of this video. We'll just stay at 10,000 and join in at our intermediate fix right at 9,700 feet. Yeah, it looks like all these clouds are right at my altitude. Maybe I woke up to 12.6. Here we go, level 10,000 now. My speed's already up to 130. We'll bring our torque all the way back down to 1250. So I bring it down to 1270 and then just kind of leave it and let it settle in on its own. Let's go over the instrument approach plate while I have a little bit of free thinking time. Make sure it's Goroka. It's the Yankee one. We come in at the intermediate fix at 9,700, and that's where this right here will switch over. Right now it's just GPS en route. Once we get within 30 miles, it'll go over to terminal. Once we get within 2 miles of the final approach fix, it will switch over to LNAV plus V. So it has vertical guidance with the Garmin 1000, so it's going to be a glide path, not a glide slope. Let's hit procedures, select approach. We want the Yankee 3.5, the Zulus for bigger airplanes as far as I know. Minimums, barrows, what we got, 6,100 feet. And that's with the actual QNH, but we'll get that from the tower though. Man, oh man, this is a lot of twisted to get up to 62 or 6,100 feet. Okay, let's go ahead and hit enter on all these. It turns it to cyan, except for the final approach fix and on. That's going to give me my vertical speed target and things down here. And what we also can do is just hit activate approach. That way it kind of has me going out towards the direction that I need to go for my initial approach fix. Like I said, we're just going to go there at 10,000 if I can, wiggling my way through. Then, from there, from that point, Sierra Alpha to Sierra India, the sector minimum altitude is 9,700 feet. So once we get to Sierra Alpha, we can be at 10,000 feet and go through clouds safely according to this chart. Once we get to Sierra India, I'm going to keep it on nav GPS-S, GPS steer, and I'm going to start the descent manually. The reason being is because this autopilot is very weak, and it just doesn't have a lot of great functionality to it. So it really falls behind in that turn and descent, trying to catch the glide path. So I'm going to manually just turn it on GPS steer. It's going to be able to maintain my little brick line boxes easier. Once I start the descent, then I'm going to hit the approach button on the autopilot. Then I'm going to hit altitude, and that will capture into the glide slope, the glide path, I should say. But then I'm right within my boxes. If I don't do that, it just kind of wallers around for like 30 seconds and takes forever to get back on track. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try something new. And that's why practicing approaches, I feel like, is really beneficial. But we can do as much as we can for the arrival. Our landing performance is going to be 71. Hey, look at that. I hear Morsby the first time today. Morsby 1207, November Tango Echo, check call. Guess they don't hear me though. If for some reason we cannot capture the glide path, we're going to do a step down all the way in. But like I said, I'm going to hit the altitude button twice, and it's going to force it to just capture the glide slope and just go into it no matter where you are. Alright, this altitude does not work with these clouds today. I think I'm going to have to do some creative wiggling around these clouds. I'm almost to Sierra Alpha though. What do I got? 10 miles to go. What the clouds look like ahead, it looks like I can wiggle around this next one, and then I'll have a channel to go. Hopefully enough to get all the way up to Sierra Alpha, my next point.
November Tango Echo, November Tango Mike Company.
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, how's it looking on the way home?
Lots of big puffy clouds, but really nice underneath, so I don't think you'll have any issues getting back, probably at maybe 7,500, 8,000.
Okay, I think I've got 2 more runs that I can do, and then grab the family. I may do 1, we'll see.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's building to the point where there's any rain. It's just some white puffy clouds starting at maybe like 8,000, 9,000 feet, and up from there.
Okay.
Well, I thought I could go through there, but not quite. Everyone, why don't you just go through the clouds? Well, technically I'm not at my minimum safe altitude for this sector. That's why. I know there's nothing down there, but technically, legally, I'm not supposed to go through clouds. Oh, there's the hole, I thought. See, I knew there was a hole. It's not right where I thought it was. Right, 3 miles to go. And then legally we can go through the clouds. Let's see how far Goroka is, 25 miles. Goroka Tower, November Tango Echo.
November Tango Echo, Goroka Tower.
Good day, November Tango Echo, 25 miles to the south, 10,000. Your circuit, 05. We're going to be shooting the practice approach. Just requesting your QNH, please.
November Tango Echo, QNH 1021. The wind is light and variable. Confirm. You will be inbound via the RNAV.
Copy 1021. I'll report again. Sierra India at 15 miles. November Tango Echo.
November Tango Echo, QNH 1020.
1020. November Tango Echo. The reason I'm getting that now is because my altitude is now 300 feet higher, indicated. So let's go down to 9,700 feet. Get bounced all around in these clouds. Okay, once we get up to Sierra India, that's where I'm going to manually start my descent going down. I'm going to fly it just like I would if it was a really crummy day. So before I get to Sierra India, I'm going to get my flaps in and slow on down to 110 knots, just exactly how I would fly it in a real scenario. Our fuel selectors are on, our TAWs, our train awareness system is on, lights and inlet are good. Let's switch up this 1020 for our secondary standby. If we have to go around, it's just going to be power up 20 degrees, pitch for 12 degrees on the attitude indicator. Reset our ITT to 740. 3 miles out, let's start slowing down. Up forward. So our first one down to 8,200 feet max. Go autopilot off, 10 degrees of flaps. There we go, and we need about 800 foot-pound of torque when we're straight and level with 10 degrees of flaps if we want around 110 knots. But we're heavy today, so very heavy, so it might actually be closer to 1,000. We'll take a look and see. Okay, we're ready to start turning. I'm going to go ahead and hit vertical speed down to 8,200 feet here in just 1 second. 6 seconds turning. And then, there we go. And bring our power about half of what it just was. Okay, once that goes and it's now leveling or staying within these boxes, then I hit approach, then I hit altitude twice. Glide slope is captured. Wanting 110 knots, looks like 470 is going to get me that. November Tango Echo Sierra Alpha, correction, India this time.
Go Echo, report Sierra Foxtrot.
Wilco, Sierra Foxtrot, November Tango Echo. Top-end harness is done. You can see it's not really like staying in the boxes, it's on the approach, it's on the glide slope, it's within the parameters it needs to be, but it just doesn't, it takes forever. It'll eventually get over there, but it just seems to take absolutely forever. Where if I would have just hit approach right when I got there, it would have been like way off. But we want 8,200 feet by the time we get to Sierra Foxtrot, which is our final approach fix. Click over here, it tells you all what you need to be at. So 8,200, but I like the bigger screen so I can see. I'm more of a visual person, so that just helps me. I don't really need to know what the numbers are because I already know what they are. There we go. There's 8,240 feet. So it looks like we're going to actually get to our 8,200 feet before this, because this is not a glide slope. It does not actually ensure you to have clearance. It's just a glide path that is added with the G1000. No, there's nothing out here at those altitudes, but technically you're not supposed to be going down through them if you get there before then. But I do have 1020. Maybe the QNH is off. 1 or 2 out here, I don't know. That would be my guess. November Tango Echo Sierra Foxtrot this time. Your circuit 06. And visual.
November Tango Echo. Just confirm. You're for runway 35 left or right?
I'd like just to switch over when I get a little bit closer for 35 right, please. November Echo.
Tango Echo, Roger. Control 2 left, 35 right, clear to land.
35 right, clear to land. November Tango Echo. So it's these little kind of nuances about each approach as you do them more often, and just kind of knowing your airplane, like the fact that it just kind of wallers around. See, it's in the boxes now, it just takes forever. But I mean, if you were like really in the thick soup and doing it, and it'd be a lot more stressful, that's for sure, than on a beautiful day like today. All right, Sierra Yankee is my missed, and this is a MDA, a minimum descent altitude, so I cannot go below 6,100 feet if I was not visual at the field, but clearly we are. So 6,100 feet by Sierra Yankee. Keeping a nice 110 with about, looks like 540 pounds of torque. He's got flaps to go. 52 seconds before missed. Just should start kind of leveling off. See, it's like it'll eventually go down slowly, 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 so it levels off at 6100. As it's doing that, I'm kind of preemptively adding a little bit of power. See, I'm down to 500, 450, 400. So I'm adding power to remain at that 110 all the way in. 100 feet to go. And that's where I hit my altitude.
Minimums.
And it just decides to continue on through. It's alright. We've already been cleared to land. Some nice thing about buddy checks is you might get a landing clearance super early and then kind of go, oh, I don't remember if I got it or not. We'll just keep our speeds up for now. We're going to land at 71 knots. Let's go 20 degrees of flaps. Lots of forward pressure on the yoke. And full flaps checklist is complete. 4 knots of tailwind. A little bit fast, so I'm going to keep pulling this power out to slow down, but just not wanting to slow down very well. There's 650 on the descent. Getting a little steep, so I'm going to go ahead and try to shallow it out a little bit. I'm going to pull power and then kind of pitch up to slow me down. There we go. Knots of tailwind, 2 knots of crosswind. Land just past the 500. A runway's clear, we're continuing. Oh, gonna sink her right at the last second. Oh, that was fun. I always love shooting approaches. If you guys enjoyed a little bit more kind of behind the scenes on what I do for loading, things like that, leave a comment down below if you'd like to see more of that. If you want to see a tour of the village, well, then go watch the one right before this one, because I walked around the village a little bit with you guys and did a really cool flight over to another mountain location, just like a 5-minute flight, so it's a really short video. And welcome here to Goroka.